Most people think relationships run on love and luck. They don't. Relationships run on biology, behavior, and a set of repeatable mechanics. And once you understand the system, you can stop leaving your most important connections to chance. By the time we reach number 4 on this list, you'll understand the single most powerful predictor of whether a relationship survives conflict. And it has nothing to do with how much you love each other. Here is every essential relationship concept explained. Let's start at the beginning, with the invisible script your brain has been running since childhood. Attachment style. Your earliest caregivers taught your brain a template for safety and intimacy, and that template quietly runs in the background of every adult relationship you'll ever have. Secure types feel safe with closeness. Anxious types panic at distance. Avoidant types go cold when things get too intimate. These aren't personality flaws. They're survival strategies that outlived their usefulness. The internal working model. This is the mental map your brain uses to predict how a partner will respond to your needs. If someone grew up where needs were ignored, that map tells them not to ask. The map isn't reality, but your nervous system treats it like it is, which is why the same fight keeps happening in every relationship a person enters. Oxytocin. Often called the bonding hormone, oxytocin is released through physical touch, genuine attunement, and moments of shared vulnerability. It lowers stress, increases trust, and deepens connection, but only when the brain registers that the moment is safe. Misattunement shuts it off. Reliability turns it on. The protest behavior. When an anxious attachment style feels emotional distance, the brain triggers escalating attempts to restore connection. Triple texting, starting arguments, creating crises. It's not manipulation. It's a nervous system screaming for proof that the bond is still intact. Deactivating strategy, the avoidant counterpart. When closeness feels threatening, the avoidant brain invents distance, focusing on the partner's flaws, going quiet, or suddenly becoming very busy. Both protest behaviors and deactivating strategies are the nervous system managing a threat it was never taught to handle. Those patterns were wired early, but the next concept is about what happens in the daily, ordinary moments that most people completely overlook. The bid for connection. A bid is any small attempt to get attention, affection, or engagement from a partner. A sigh, a comment about the weather, a tap on the shoulder. Research on couples found that partners who consistently respond to these microbids maintain far higher relationship satisfaction than those who don't. The grand gesture cannot compensate for 1,000 ignored bids. Turning toward versus turning away. When you respond to a bid, you look up, you ask what's on your mind. That's turning toward. When you ignore it or react with irritation, that's turning away. The direction you consistently choose builds either an emotional bank account or an emotional vacuum. You're making deposits or withdrawals dozens of times a day without realizing it. Each time you turn toward or away from your partner, you're affecting the emotional reserve in your relationship, often in small, barely noticeable ways. The emotional bank account. Relationship stability is built on accumulated micro moments of goodwill. Small acknowledgments, brief validations, eye contact at the right time. This reserve is what a relationship draws on when conflict arrives. A depleted account means even small arguments feel catastrophic. The 5-to-1 ratio. Relationship research consistently shows that stable couples maintain roughly 5 positive interactions for every 1 negative interaction. Below that threshold, the brain begins to tag the partner as a net threat, and once that happens, the body's defenses start treating the relationship like a conflict zone. Positive perspective override. When the ratio of goodwill is high enough, a partner's behavior gets interpreted charitably. The same action, being quiet at dinner, reads as they're tired rather than they're angry with me. This psychological buffer is built in the small moments, not the big ones. Here's the part nobody tells you, and it's coming up next, because it's not about preventing conflict, it's about what you do inside it. Diffuse physiological arousal. When conflict escalates and heart rate climbs above roughly 100 beats per minute, the brain loses meaningful access to empathy, logic, and humor. You are no longer having a conversation. You are two nervous systems running threat response programs at each other. The 20-minute rule. Research on couples in conflict confirms that the body requires approximately 20 minutes to clear stress hormones and restore the capacity for rational engagement. A break shorter than that is theater. The physiology hasn't actually reset. The softened startup. How a conflict begins almost entirely determines how it ends. You always or you never triggers the partner's threat response. I feel keeps things in the relational lane rather than attack and defend. The first sentence of an argument matters more than every sentence after it. The repair attempt. This is any action, a touch, a joke, an apology, a simple "I don't want to fight," that interrupts the escalation cycle before it reaches a point of no return. Healthy relationships aren't defined by the absence of conflict. They're defined by whether repair attempts are made and accepted. If you find this useful, subscribe and hit the bell. There's more content like this coming every week. The Four Horsemen. Relationship researchers identified 4 behaviors that consistently predict relationship breakdown: criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling. Of these, contempt is the most corrosive. It involves attacking a partner's character from a position of superiority, using sarcasm, eye-rolling, or hostile mockery. Every instance of contempt damages the sense of safety that a relationship depends on. Now, the most misunderstood concept in long-term relationships, because it sounds like pulling away, but it's actually what keeps people together. Differentiation of self. This is the ability to stay emotionally connected to a partner while maintaining your own independent sense of identity, values, and regulation. Low differentiation leads to enmeshment, where one person's bad mood floods the entire relationship and there's no separate ground to stand on. High differentiation means you can be an anchor when your partner is in an emotional storm without being pulled under yourself. Emotional contagion. When two people are poorly differentiated, emotions leak between them without filter. One person's anxiety becomes the relationship's anxiety. One person's irritability becomes the household's atmosphere. It's actually a sign that neither person has a stable internal floor. Psychological projection. We don't see our partners as they are. We see them through a lens built from unresolved wounds. If you feel inadequate, their quietness reads as judgment. If you fear abandonment, their tiredness reads as withdrawal. Most of the charge in an argument has more to do with your past than the person in front of you. The 80-20 rule of conflict. If your emotional reaction to an event is a 10, but the event itself was a 2, roughly 80% of what you're feeling belongs to your history, not your partner. The skill is learning to locate where the charge is actually coming from before acting on it. Boundaried empathy. The ability to support a partner's emotional experience without absorbing it as your own. Present with their pain, but not consumed by it. This is not emotional distance. It's proximity with a stable foundation. The difference between one boat staying upright and 2 boats sinking. But even a psychologically healthy individual can't sustain a relationship without this final system, the one that decides whether a partnership has a reason to exist. Early relationships run on dopamine, novelty, and pursuit. That phase is always temporary. Long-term bonding runs on oxytocin and vasopressin, built through touch, repeated safety, and consistent reliability. Reliability is one of the most underrated forms of attraction. Without a common why, shared values, goals, and rituals, a long-term relationship gradually becomes a logistics arrangement. Who handles the chores? Who picks up the kids? It doesn't collapse dramatically. It quietly turns administrative. Shared meaning transforms cohabitation into partnership. A non-negotiable recurring moment, morning coffee with no phones, a weekly check-in, a 10-minute walk. that reminds the brain this relationship is a priority, not a backdrop. Rituals keep shared meaning active rather than theoretical. An explicit, revisited understanding between partners covering how conflict will be handled, how needs will be expressed, and how connection maintained. Most friction comes from mismatched, unspoken assumptions. Making those assumptions visible removes a significant source of chronic, low-grade resentment. The goal state, not the absence of difficulty, but a baseline where both people feel safe enough to be honest, regulated enough to repair quickly, and connected enough to mean something to each other. This is not a feeling that happens to you. It's an environment two people build together. And that brings us to the last concept, the one that ties every mechanism on this list back to a single unifying principle. Connection is a skill, not a feeling, not a mystery, not a matter of finding the right person. Every pattern in this video, attachment styles, bid responses, conflict repair, differentiation, projection, shared meaning, is trainable. The brain that learned anxious attachment can learn secure. The couple that built contempt can rebuild appreciation. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life, not just emotionally, but physically. Chronic loneliness carries measurable health consequences comparable to long-term smoking. This is not a soft topic. It is a biological priority wearing the costume of a social one. Most people wait for the relationship to improve before they change their behavior. The mechanic works in reverse. Change the behavior first, and the relationship responds. Every concept in this video is an input. Treat it like one. That is every foundational relationship concept explained. If you made it to the end, you are exactly who this channel is built for. Subscribe, drop a comment with which concept was new to you, and YouTube will show you what to watch next.